Well, if he really was filming everybody, let me see. I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said?
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
You know?
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo like was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard, and Katt Williams just snapped over some crazy files tied to Diddy. And out of nowhere, Elon Musk jumped in too, throwing warning shots at the big-name white celebs tangled in the mess. Word is some of them are already trying to skip the country. Now let's be real clear. This is all based on talk from sources close to the situation and what's blowing up online. I'm just reporting what people are saying, so don't shoot the messenger. Now here's where it gets even messier. Reports coming out of the prison where Diddy's locked up say he might be ready to talk to save himself. And according to Rogan, Terrence, and Katt, some big names could be in serious trouble if Diddy starts spilling. But the shocker? Nobody expected Steve Harvey to pop up in this. Yeah, Uncle Steve. People online, and Katt's little hints, claim that as soon as Steve heard about Diddy's indictment, he hopped on the first flight out. Not only did he bounce, but they say he scrubbed his socials clean. Anything tied to Diddy? Gone. Steve even went back and deleted an old tweet from 2017 where he called Diddy a brother doing good for these kids. Yeah, that ain't aging well at all. And it gets darker from here. Back then, Steve was acting like life was all good. He was spotted vacationing in Italy with Diddy and Lori Harvey, who had just dumped Diddy's son Justin, only to start dating Diddy himself. That whole situation, Messi doesn't even cover it. But what really made people stop and do a double take was a photo of Lori wearing white nail polish. Sounds harmless, right? Not if you've been keeping up with the serious claims in Diddy's case. That little detail? It's creepy. Cassie, in her lawsuit, said Diddy made every woman around him wear white nails during his twisted parties, what she called freak-offs. She said the white polish made the contrast pop more in the disturbing videos he filmed. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Even Young Miami was seen with white nails, and Diddy's own mom too. That's when people really started asking, did Steve Harvey not notice what was going on? Or was he staying close to Diddy for a boost in Hollywood power? Either way, it's not looking too innocent now. Back then, Diddy was sitting on billionaire status, running Revolt TV, and plugged in with all the major Hollywood producers. That's why people in the streets are saying, if Diddy starts talking, we might finally learn why Steve Harvey vanished so quick. Now let's talk about Meek Mill. Ever since Diddy's arrest hit the news, Meek's been super quiet. And that's raising eyebrows, especially since he and Diddy got a real history. Remember that clip of Meek in the pool, calling Diddy daddy and saying he loved him? Folks used to laugh it off. Now, not so funny? That video aged like milk. And get this, when Diddy's lawsuits started exploding and names were getting dragged left and right, Meek straight up disappeared. Then comes Lil Rod, the one who sued Diddy too. He claimed Diddy was bending Meek Mill and giving him favors and deals in return. As all this heat started coming out, Meek jetted off to Africa and started posting weird tweets. One of them even said he'd drop $100,000 to whoever could tell him who was trying to link him to Diddy. Word on the street is Meek Mill's doing straight up damage control. Rumors say he might have been caught on some wild footage the feds scooped up. And if that's true, It's only a matter of time before everything comes out when that courtroom door opens. Right now, he's moving like he don't know a thing, but nobody's buying that act. And guess who else is reportedly shaking? Usher. People are saying he's been stressing ever since his name started getting tied to this whole Diddy mess. Usher's been close to Diddy since he was real young, way back when he was just 13. He was part of what folks call Diddy's flavor camp. And now, people are saying Usher might have been caught in some disturbing situations too. You remember what Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, claimed? He said Diddy once sent Usher to the hospital, bleeding from, well, you know where.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the, and that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard it, and that's what happened. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, you know, that's just something that I heard.
That's the kind of story you don't forget. And if that wasn't wild enough, people are bringing up that old Kevin Hart interview. The one where Diddy was clowning around, talking about waking up in bed with Usher back when they were younger. Back then, everyone laughed.
My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, pause, but like, just out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older.
But now, with all these dark stories coming out, nobody's laughing anymore. If Usher's name is anywhere in that mess, he better have his lawyers on standby real quick. Now let's talk Jay-Z. He and Diddy been locked in for years. Business deals, parties, the whole nine. But where things start looking real shady is with a woman named Kathy White. Word on the street is she was Jay's side chick, and she allegedly passed away after getting pregnant by him. It's been whispered for years, but now folks are saying Diddy might have receipts, maybe even tapes. But that's not the only storm Jay's name is caught up in. Remember that lawsuit from a few months back? Some unnamed woman came forward, accusing both Diddy and Jay-Z of assaulting her after the 2000 VMAs. She said it all went down at some high-end party in a fancy NYC residence. At first, it had everyone on edge. But when court started picking the story apart, it got shaky. The woman said her dad picked her up after the incident, but when he hit the stand, he said he didn't remember any of that happening. Now people are side-eyeing everything, wondering who's hiding what, and what Diddy really knows. She also claimed she spoke to Benji Madden at that same party, but Madden clapped back quick, saying he wasn't even in New York at the time. Too many holes in the story, not enough solid facts. So the judge had no choice but to toss the whole case out. But that didn't stop the drama from spreading like wildfire. Jaguar Wright jumped in and did not hold back. She went off on Jay-Z, saying he's just as grimy as Diddy, maybe even worse. She straight up called him the devil. Those are her words.
I have 3 right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
And now people are saying, if Diddy's sitting on anything that links Jay to those freak-off parties, it could be game over for him. And we can't ignore that wild Diddy birthday clip. Him singing to French Montana, both of them glistening in baby oil like it was nothing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
It's a special birthday for both of us.
Yeah.
At the time, folks just joked about it. But now that the feds found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil in Diddy's house, yeah, that moment hits real different now. And guess who else is being dragged back into the mix? Jennifer Lopez. This goes way back to that club shooting with Shine. Word is, J-Lo allegedly had the strap in her purse. And when it came time to testify, sources claim she lied to the grand jury. That's exactly what Natanya Rubin, one of the women injured in that club shooting, has been saying. She's been fighting to get the case reopened, even saying she's willing to have the fragments removed from her face just to prove Jennifer lied all these years.
Irony is, there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened, because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened.
According to her, both Diddy and J-Lo need to face real consequences. And if it actually comes down to that, J-Lo might finally be in some serious trouble. But here's where things take a crazy turn. Whistleblowers like Katt Williams and Terrence Howard didn't just stop at Diddy and the regulars. They started name-dropping white celebs too, the ones who've been ghosting the spotlight ever since the scandal broke.
Those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
Even Elon Musk jumped into the mix. He reposted a tweet that called out Ellen DeGeneres for going off the grid right after the Diddy chaos exploded. And if you've been watching closely, Ellen's not just laying low, she disappeared. New photos just surfaced of her hiding out at a quiet little pub in England. But here's the twist. She's got a whole new look. Different hairstyle, new energy, changed her whole vibe. People are asking, what is she running from? She claims she moved overseas to get away from the madness going down in the US. But let's be real, nobody's buying that excuse. Folks think Ellen's on the run. Her connection to Diddy runs deep. He was on her show plenty of times, always cracking jokes and hinting at their wild nights behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, it's great. So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up to.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then no, I mean the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them.
And that 2016 birthday tweet she posted to Diddy, she called him Cuddled McSnuggle Stuff and added, y'all don't need to know why. Oh, but now, people definitely want to know why. On top of that, Ellen's already got a rep for being shady behind the scenes. Former staff called her out for running one of the most toxic sets in all of Hollywood. And now, whispers are going around that 2 of her ex-partners passed away under strange conditions. People are starting to connect the dots, and some even believe Diddy might have had a hand in covering things up. Right after Joe Rogan laid all this out, Katt Williams came in and cranked the heat all the way up. And this time, he didn't hold nothing back. For years, folks treated Katt like he was just running his mouth. But now people are realizing, maybe he wasn't crazy. Maybe he was just early. Katt didn't just aim at a few people. He lit up the whole industry. Didn't matter who you were or what color you are. If you were acting shady behind the scenes, you were getting called out.
Big dick deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
And guess who else landed in the spotlight? Leonardo DiCaprio. As soon as all this mess with Diddy started unraveling, Leo was seen hopping on a jet straight to Italy. He claimed it was just a vacation with his new girl, but the timing? Way too convenient. That's when old photos popped up. From back in '98 at Diddy's East Hampton mansion. Leo was just chilling in the background like it was nothing.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Now people are starting to ask, how deep was that friendship really? Word is, in the early 2000s, Leo and Diddy were tight. Diddy even called Leo his top guest for those infamous white parties.
Who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are.
But as soon as those old ties started resurfacing, Leo's team got real loud, saying they haven't talked in years. Sounds like cleanup mode. And then there's Ashton Kutcher, his name sliding into the convo too. He's had deep MTV-era ties to Diddy. They even ran the New York Marathon together. Plus, he showed up at Diddy's 2009 white party like it was all love. Then there's that Hot Ones interview where Ashton Kutcher got real jittery when they brought up Diddy's parties.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
He laughed it off, said he had stories, but couldn't tell them. Now people are saying, yeah, there was definitely a reason he kept quiet. And things got even crazier when Terrence Howard dropped a bomb during his interview on the PBD podcast. He didn't dance around the issue. He put it all out there. According to Terrence, Diddy came at him with what looked like a business offer. First, it was about helping with acting gigs. Then it turned into music studio visits. But Terrence said it had nothing to do with art. It was all about Diddy trying to get close, too close. His own assistant had to pull him aside and say, he's trying to smash. After that, Terrence cut ties immediately, shut every door, backed away fast, and never looked back.
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. He's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to...
Come on now, dog.
That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
Come on, man.
Now I get it.
But Terrence didn't stop there. He made it real clear that Diddy wasn't the only one moving like that. He said multiple producers tried the same shady stuff. This pattern? It's been in the industry for years. He broke it down. When a man walks into certain rooms, he gets treated different. And if you push back against those weird vibes, you're done. You don't get invited back, no matter how talented you are.
So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you punch them in the mouth, or knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room.
And according to him, that's exactly why some of these so-called stars suddenly vanish or fade out. It's not about talent, it's about what they refuse to do behind closed doors. Katt Williams backed every word, loud and clear. He said he turned down shady offers, $50 million, 4 times over, just to keep his name clean. And when he said he was protecting his virgin hole, He wasn't making a joke. He meant every word.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right.
He warned that people don't realize what they're really signing up for when they go chasing those fame and fortune deals. According to Katt, Diddy had been trying to slide in for years, but he always told him no. Shut it down every single time.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
People been whispering about it for years. The so-called dress agenda. That talk about Hollywood pushing black men into feminine roles before they can reach the top. Katt, Terrence Howard, and even Dave Chappelle been calling it out from way back. Terrence said straight up, that's why he got pushed out of Iron Man. It wasn't about money, like folks claimed. He said it was because he didn't fit the mold. He wasn't trying to water himself down or play some version that wasn't real. And he definitely wasn't putting on a dress. Katt said he faced the same thing. According to him, Martin Lawrence tried to get him in a dress for Big Mama's house. But Katt said no real quick. He told Martin, I ain't the one you're looking for. And guess what? They went and got Brandon T. Jackson instead. Just like that. Katt said he had roles lined up, big ones, but they kept falling through because he refused to wear the dress. He wasn't budging.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my word. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's house too.
Then he turned the heat up on Kevin Hart. Kevin once said he'd never wear a dress either. But not long after, he popped up on SNL doing exactly that.
The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kavanjane Wallace.
And what happened next? His career skyrocketed. Katt wasn't calling it a coincidence. He straight up said that's the game. You either play by their rules or they freeze you out.
You know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
Even Dave Chappelle told that exact story to Oprah, how they tried to get him in a dress too. He wasn't with it. And next thing you know, he vanished to Africa.
I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have...
Katt's message hit hard. Some folks sell out for the fame, others walk away broke just to keep their soul intact. And now the internet's buzzing. Everyone's suddenly trying to say, I was never close to Diddy. But let's be real. Hollywood been obsessed with those Diddy parties for decades. And with that May 2025 trial creeping up, this whole thing's starting to feel like a countdown to something huge. So what do you think about this insane unraveling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear it all. And if you're here for the raw truth, the wild facts, and nothing sugar-coated, hit that like, smash that subscribe, share it with your people, and tap the next video that's already waiting for you on screen. See you in the next one.